I never liked the thought of people like quote unquote like worshiping us.
Yeah, no, it's
like I like people being fans, but I just don't like people like seeing me as some kind of like above human person or something.
This god.
Like I used to live in a garage. I used to live in a fucking garage. I still live with my
parents.
While I was like starting my YouTube channel.
I'm from bumfuck Egypt.
I have sex with minions.
We are literally just people. We make that's literally the only thing is we just make jokes, and regular people make jokes all the time. We just happen to the stars align with our lives, and
we just monetize ours. That's the only difference.
I'm from like the definition of a hick town. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, that's never been.
I can understand maybe like idolizing somebody that's like if you idolize
an
like
athlete. Or somebody
like
who's like
or like a fucking like Johnny Depp, like a high tier
dedicated
actor.
their life to get where they are. We just like had black joke on the internet.
Right. But even still, they're still just people too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but I feel like they're just like once you reach that threshold of making over $100 million a year,
that defines your self-worth.
Well, I feel like just
you're
when
no
you have
longer a human.
When you have that kind of money, I feel like you just generally live a different life than normal people.
Shit, but I mean I feel like you could say that about somebody making fucking $100,000 a year and $50,000 like that. And that's all.
I don't know about that.
That really
I don't know about that.
I don't know. It is a completely different topic.
There's a big difference between $100,000 and $100 million. $100 million, you don't have to worry about literally anything.
Well, I think from what I've heard about like people that are extremely well off is that it's also all on like a scale too. Like because that life is so different from like a regular life that the money obviously, you know, it's kind of bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. They're living a completely different life than a normal person.
But it's on a scale though. Like they have their own like problems with money.
Oh
in comparison, where it's like. Yeah, it's like they're in a nicer house, obviously, but they're still like, $10,000 house payment this month. Man, I have to budget a little bit. But it's like, obviously, you don't really need to do that, but it's like their own kind of way of looking at things.
Yeah, it's just a completely different thing. But honestly, I would never want that much fucking money. Like, if I made what I make now, like, from YouTube for the rest of my life, I would fucking never complain again. I don't know how people need, like... Or like, no, I need to be making like $1 million a month or I'm not fucking happy.
What are you trying to buy a castle in every country?
$5 million a month now.
What do you need that much money for?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I like excess. I obviously like nice things. I got roasted to fucking shit by our comment section for having that expensive of a dinner or something. But
I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, dude, I got flamed. But obviously I like nice shit, but like the amount of excess that some people need is fucked. Like it is just insane. They could just never be happy. Just be like, I only have 2 Ferraris.
I've never cared about that kind of stuff.
It's like, holy shit. It's like,
I feel like the difference is like I feel like a lot of YouTubers who make just outstanding amounts of money, I feel like they were kind of growing up in wealth. Because I feel like when you're raised in wealth, you kind of have a different like view on money than somebody that's just come from, like, you know, rags to riches.
What do you mean by that? Because I grew up in a relatively speaking pretty wealthy family, but I feel like I have not lost touch of money whatsoever. Like to me, $1,000 is still a fuck ton of money, regardless of what I make. That's still I feel like that just
attributes to you being smart. Like you're just generally a smart person. But there's a lot of people who grow up in wealth and it turns them into pieces of shit.
Yeah,
like where literally their entire value is based on how much money they have, and they just
the issue too is like YouTube culture itself kind of spawns that, right? Like you see somebody like Jake Paul who spends their entire monthly earning on
beast.
Yeah, like this is a thing. I like expensive clothes. I like cars. I like shit like that, the typical hypebeast stuff, but not because I like it because hey, I want to flex this thing and somehow
it's not a personality trait.
This makes me better than you for some reason. That is the worst fucking way to look at shit like that. Like, if you just like something that happens to be expensive, like your guitars, McNasty, where it's like, your fucking, whatever, $15,000 guitar is realistically going to do the exact same thing as a $200 Squire. But that's what you like. You don't buy it because I'm better than everyone else. Okay, well, it does the same thing. It makes fucking noise. That's like saying, you know, expensive shirt and a Walmart shirt. They do the same fucking thing, but you just like one of them. If you're buying expensive shit for that reason, then I always just, you know, tell people go for it. But like, if you want to buy a fucking off-white shirt to make your friends think you're fucking cool and you're doing well, then you're a loser, man.
Yeah, it's when you use the expensive thing to like try and make it a personality
trait.
Yeah,
like having wealth is like this fucking awesome thing that makes you better than everyone else. Yeah, that shit's.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of people who are raised in wealth end up that way because they're always around all this money and they feel like that's what they should be. They should be the money person. But I mean, there are people like you, Blarg,
money
who,
guy.
You know, you raised in wealth, but you're also like, smart and not a piece of shit.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing with like, you know, it's an outspoken minority that you're thinking of, where it's like a lot of people group a lot of wealthy people into the same pool, because the ones that you do see usually make it on social media as like Instagram influencers and all that shit. So you see like this outspoken minority of complete douchebags that think money is a personality trait. But there's a ton of people like, you know, I didn't grow up in insane wealth. Like my parents aren't fucking billionaires, but obviously, you know, there's some people out there that have that and are still like me. But I don't know. I feel like you just see a very twisted reality of it because of Instagram.
You just have to have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah, that kind of goes for everything.
I was worried when I first started playing with all you guys that y'all were gonna be that way. That's one thing that I've like kind of tried to stay away from in the YouTube world is people that are kind of that way.
You're the sum total of
people
your
that are
friends, basically, the people you hang out with. So you don't want to surround yourself with people like that. You know, you want to surround yourself with people who have the same mindset and ambitions as you.
Yeah, I want to surround myself with people that can get drawn as sexy maids, as you've just linked.
Yeah, that I didn't want to say anything because this is actually the first time I think we've ever talked about a real topic on this podcast. And as we were talking about, as we were going off on that deep conversation, Dude decided to link this picture of us all drawn as sexy maids.
I'm retweeting.
No, it is
now.
fantastic. I'm actually retweeting that.
Yeah, we were actually having like a real moment there. I'm sorry.
And actually, first time we've ever had a real conversation.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Blarg, I would smash your little cheeks.
Thank you. I actually dress like that. Like that's what I look like right before bed.
Like I actually dress like that.
I look
expensive
like I'm
maid costumes. That's what I was talking about.
I'm in the position
with my cat ears.
Probably your massive.
You look like you're afraid of something. Like you're. I was gonna say maybe like a sleep paralysis.
Wait, where's my question mark? Fucking segued. You get eyeballs instead.
That actually looks better than the question mark, to be honest. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it.
I wish we didn't rebrand so we could rebrand to that.